All right, so today we are going to work on graphing linear functions. And they're going to be in that slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. So if you remember that m value right there, what's right in there in front of the x, that's your slope, and that's your rise over your run. And then the b value is your y-intercept. So you can graph the y-intercept, and if you remember on the graph over here, your y-intercept is where it hits this over here. So if this was a plus 8 in here, then your y-intercept would be up here at 8. And let's say your slope here was a negative 2/3. Well, then you can come down 2 because that's your rise, and then you run 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. One of them is positive and one's negative. I usually put the top one to be in the negative and the bottom one to be positive there. And then you could keep doing that. You could come down 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and connect your points. And there's my graph. So again, the B is where it hits this y axis over here. So let's go on to an example over here. So this one says f of x equals 3x minus 1. I'm going to underline these and identify the pieces here. My slope is m, and it's 3, and I'm going to put it over 1. So this is my rise, and this is my run. So I'm going to rise 3 and run 1 to the right. If it was a negative 1, I'd run 1 to the left. And then the other portion there is a negative 1. So my negative 1 ends up being my y-intercept because that's my b value. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the y-intercept. That's where you always start. So the y-intercept is where it hits this line right here. So where it hits there is at negative 1. And then from that, I'm supposed to rise 3. So 1, 2, 3, and run 1. Rise 3, run 1 to the right. Rise 3, run 1 to the right, and connect your points. And I only need 2 points to determine a line, so I only really need just to do 2 of them there. I just kept it going so that you could see how to do your slope there. Next one says to graph each linear function here. So again, this part right here, I'm going to put that over 1. So my slope is m, which is negative 2 over 1. And that's my rise over my run. And then the y-intercept there is b, and that's 3. And that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start on where it hits here on the y-axis here. And it hits here at 3, so I'm going to put a dot there. And then from that, I'm going to rise negative 2, so I'm going to come down 2 and run 1 to the right. Down negative 2, run 1 to the right. Down negative 2, 1 run to the right. Now I could have also gone the other way here. I can always rise 2 and run 1 to the left. So I could have put that, instead of saying negative 2 over 1, I could have done 2 over negative 1. So then I would have risen 2 and run 1 to the left. Doesn't matter. You're going to get exactly. If I would have done that, see how it still makes that nice line there. So there's 2 examples. Let's try a third one there. This one here, the slope now is in fraction form here. So the negative is straight out there in front. So you get to decide if you're going to put the negative up or down. You can't do both. It's up to you. I'm going to put it up. And again, rise over run. And then that 4 there is your b value, which is your y-intercept. And you're going to start there. So here on the y-axis is my 4. And then from that, I'm going to rise negative 1, so down 1, and then to the right. Down 1, to the right. Down 1, to the right. Connect my points. And there I've got my graph of my linear function. So hopefully you remember how to do that. And then we got a little tricky one here. This says y equals -6. All right, so notice there's no x in there. So my slope there, we'll do slope first. We always do slope first. Slope there is m, and there isn't one. So I could put it in there if I were to rewrite this. I could do 0x minus 6. So my slope there ends just being 0. And we're always going to put that over 1. And then my y-intercept is b, which is -6. So again, I'm going to start that at -6. And then I have a slope of 0. So I'm not going to rise anything, but I can run 1. Not going to rise, going to run. So notice I just end up here with just a horizontal line. So, and you go, whenever you have y equals a value, you'll always get a horizontal line through whatever your y-intercept is. In this case, it's -6. So looking there on your note sheet there, we've now taken notes all the way through, and then we got the back ones here. So let's do these kind of together again. So this one here is a little tricky because there's no y-intercept sitting there, so I'm going to put a +0. So my slope again is rise over run, which is 4/3. And my y-intercept this time is my b value, which is 0. So I'm going to start here at 0. I'm going to rise 4 and run 3. Connect my points. And I could have done it again. And then my other one here, my slope here is rise over run. And it's -4/5. And again, like I said, you could put the negative up or down. I just put it up. So, and then my y-intercept is b, which is 8. So I got to start up here at 8. So I'm going to come down 4 and run 5. And connect my points there. So there's my graphs there. So you have, so that's good job on graphing our linear functions there.